In just 12 months, we tripled our income.
Selling our passion product on Amazon.
And we're going to share with you what Elena and Elena sell on Amazon, exactly how they did it, including every single startup cost they had, their design cost, their first production run, everything it took for them to start this business, as well as we'll talk about how much revenue they made, all their different expenses, and their final profit. But make sure you stay till the end of the video because they made a huge mistake that cost them over $25,000. It was a mistake when I heard, it made me really upset, and it's a mistake I don't want you to make. So make sure you stay till the end of the video so that you don't make the same mistake. But Elena and Elena, how did you get started? What is your product? And let's walk us through the process.
Well, we both worked in Hollywood in the entertainment industry as models and actresses. We spent a lot of hours on sets and in makeup chairs to have our hair done in crazy ways for music videos, commercials, photo shoots. And it took long hours to get it done. And it took a lot of hairpins because when they do those updos, you don't realize that, but they use a lot of hairpins that would scratch, poke, and irritate your scalp. And at the end of the day, and after 16 hours of work, you have headache from too many pins used on you.
So how did you guys fix it?
So one day we came across velvet hangers and I thought, what a brilliant idea. What if we apply the same concept on a hairpin? I shared it with Elena and she created prototypes at home. We tested them. They worked wonderfully fine in my wet, heavy hair. The idea was born, the prototype was born, and we decided to go for it.
When you find your passion product and start selling online, it can change your life. I had a corporate job that I hated. I quit that. I started my first online business, and within 1 year, I made over $100,000 in profit. And to date, I've done over $6 million in sales. So make sure to smash the like button because right now, Elena and Elena are going to tell you exactly how they started their Amazon business and step-by-step how you can start your own Amazon business. So you guys had this idea, you had this prototype. What was the first step in getting this business started?
So the first step was to protect our idea and get a patent. So we filed for a provisional patent, which cost us $75. We actually did it ourselves. It's a pretty easy process. The next step was to get a look and the brand image for our products. So we asked a friend of ours to design a logo, and he designed it for us for free.
The next step is to design the packaging of the product. And how did you guys do that? And how much did that cost you?
I was literally driving on the freeway in downtown Los Angeles, and I saw a big sign, packaging, stepped into the office, spoke with them and showed them our idea, and we sat down and developed the packaging. It costed us about $600.
After you guys had your design, the next step when starting a business is to get some kind of a legal entity started. And for those at home, you can do an LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company, or a DBA, which stands for Doing Business As. And when you get a DBA or an LLC, it allows you to open up a business bank account. It allows you to get business credit cards and separate yourself and your personal expenses from the business. How did you guys file for an LLC?
Well, we asked our personal accountant who was doing our personal taxes to help us with the LLC, which he did. And we formed the company. And as you said, opened the bank account and all of the accessories connected with it.
How much did it cost you to open that LLC? Do you remember?
About $400.
And for you at home, you don't have to hire someone else to do it. You can actually go to websites like LegalZoom and they'll do it for free, but you'll still have to pay the local state fee. From there, the next step to starting your business is to find a manufacturer and get your product made. How did you guys find your manufacturer and walk us through that process?
That was the most challenging step because we didn't know that the process of putting velvet on the object is called flocking. We Googled it and then started looking for flocking companies in the US. We called a few of them, and it turns out that most of them were doing flat flocking, but none of them were doing 3D object flocking. Yet we convinced one of the company to do a test run. They agreed, and they sent us a prototype, which was great. So we placed the first order with them, and then the first order came, and it was not as great.
How much was it for that first initial test run?
So the first test run cost us approximately $1,500.
And then from there, it wasn't good quality, so you had to go find another manufacturer.
We had a referral from somebody who had a production of a different product in China, and they recommended us to try their factory. That factory never did anything like that before, but they were very creative in finding a solution. And when they sent us the production run, it was great.
And for you at home, you can go to websites like Alibaba.com to find manufacturers overseas. All you have to do is type into the search bar what you're looking for, hit enter, and you'll get a list of hundreds of different manufacturers. However, if you do have a problem finding a manufacturer, there are people out there that specialize in helping to connect you with manufacturers. And at this point, you have found your manufacturer and it was time to do your first production run. How much did that cost you guys for your first run?
We did the minimum that the factory allowed, which cost us $8,500. We were nervous, but we were so excited about putting our idea in the world. We just went for it.
And it is scary when you're first investing money into your business, but this is a huge opportunity. Right now, over 43% of all Amazon sellers make over $100,000 a year. Last year, over $600 billion was spent on Amazon.com, and that number is growing every single year. So this is a huge opportunity. I know you guys were a little bit nervous when you first started, and we're gonna talk later. We're gonna share all the numbers. It paid off for them. But the next step in starting your Amazon business was after you did the manufacturing, you had to get it shipped into the United States. How much money did you guys spend on that and how did you do that?
Well, we found this shipping company in Los Angeles. They have a port here, so it's very convenient. And they quoted us the price, and the first shipment was about $1,200 from China.
And did you guys do air shipping or sea shipping?
Sea.
And for those at home, you have two options when shipping from overseas. You can do air shipping, which is gonna be faster, but it's gonna be way more expensive. It usually takes about like 4 or 5 days. However, you can do sea shipping, which is gonna take 4 to 6 weeks at a minimum. And that's usually quite a bit cheaper. And at this point, you guys are about ready to launch on Amazon, but there are a couple other things that you have to take care of before you sell on Amazon. How much did you spend on UPC codes and what are UPC codes?
So in order to sell on Amazon, we needed UPC codes for our products, which stands for Universal Product Code. And we registered on GS1 website, and they allow about 100 UPC codes for $150.
We also applied for and registered for trademark, which cost us $250.
And one other thing, before you really can sell on Amazon, you need to get photos of your product for your Amazon listing.
We worked in Hollywood, so we had a lot of friends in the industry who were editors, directors, or camera people. So we had a friend who was also a photographer, and he did it for us. We suggested to pay him $200.
And it's worth investing in the photos for your product because when someone's buying something online, they can't pick it up, they can't look at it. All they have to go by is the photos. So you want high quality photos. And at this point, you guys are ready to launch on Amazon, and we're gonna break down exactly how much revenue they did in their first year, as well as all their expenses and their final profit. But at this point in the story, you guys have spent over $12,000 starting your business. How are you feeling? Were you nervous? Have you ever sold anything online before?
No, we haven't. And that was our first endeavor into business. We had no experience whatsoever. We had our savings that we put into the business. But the good thing is that we did not feel obligated to anyone.
In your first year ever selling on Amazon, you guys ended up doing over $48,000 in sales. How did you feel at this point?
Well, first of all, we couldn't believe that it's working. One thing is to get the validation of the product from your friends and relatives, because they would support you anyway. But seeing that it's selling and other people actually buy it, that was incredible motivation.
But it's important to remember that revenue is not profit. There's a lot of expenses that you guys had. So let's break down all those expenses and let's talk about what your final profit was. So the first expense you have when selling on Amazon is paying for all the products that you have to sell. And how much money did you guys spend in your product cost for your total first year?
It was about $7,500.
Another fee that you have to consider when you're selling on Amazon is the referral fee. And this is a 15% fee. You have to pay Amazon 15% of everything you sell. And that sounds like a lot, but that gets you access to over 300 million Prime customers. They have over 100 million Prime customers just in the United States. How much money did you guys spend on that Prime referral fee?
On our first year, we spent about $7,300.
Another fee that you have to keep in mind is the Amazon FBA pick and pack fee. And when you sell products on Amazon using FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, what you do is you ship the products that you want to sell on Amazon's website into an Amazon warehouse. And when you get an order on their website, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship out the product for you, meaning that you don't have to do any of the shipping work yourself. But they do charge you a fee for this. How much money did you spend on the Amazon FBA pick and pack fee in your first year?
We spent $18,000.
Which sounds like a lot of money, but keep in mind, when you sell products online, you're gonna have to pay for postage and handling anyways, and it's actually cheaper to ship your products using Amazon FBA than it would be if you did it yourself. So in total, in your first year ever selling on Amazon, how much profit did you guys do?
We made just over $10,000 in profit.
So to have $48,000 in revenue, but only $10,000 in profit, how did you feel? Were you excited that you made any profit, or were you kind of nervous? What were your thoughts at this point?
We were excited that we were making money and actually seeing the money. We understood that running a business involves costs and expenses. We didn't know how much that would be, but the first year was a great learning experience, so we just learned.
We did make one mistake during our first year, which cost us about $5,000, but we'll talk about it later. After the first year, we really saw the success of our product, and we decided to turn our provisional patent into full patent. We tried ourselves, we failed, so we decided to hire an attorney. He helped us to do everything professionally, and we succeeded. We were issued a utility patent, which has been helping us. Highly recommend.
And in year 2, you guys did over $120,000 in sales. Obviously, revenue is not profit. Once we subtract out all the costs, how much profit did you do in your second year ever selling on Amazon?
In our second year, we received about $39,000 in profit.
So at this point, that's almost 4 times as much profit as you did the year before. How are you guys feeling?
We felt great because we knew we were doing something right and we were on the right track.
And how did you guys triple your revenue in year 2? I saw that you guys spent an extra $20,000 in PPC. Is it PPC that led to the success?
Yeah, that was key. We found out the more you put into marketing and advertising, PPC, the more sales and revenues you get.
And for those at home, PPC stands for pay-per-click. It's a way for you to advertise on Amazon so that your product shows up at the top of the search results, and you only pay when someone clicks on your ad. Was there anything else that happened this year to boost sales?
Yes, the exciting thing that happened was Lady Gaga actually wore our hairpins for the inauguration when she sang the national anthem at the Capitol Hill. It was a huge validation and success for us.
And in your guys' third year, you ended up doing over $150,000 in revenue. And when we subtract out all the costs, how much profit did you guys do?
On our third year, we made over $50,000 in profit.
How did you guys increase your sales in year 3?
Just putting more money into ads.
And in total, in 3 years, Elena and Elena have done over $300,000 in revenue, over $100,000 in profit.
And this year, we are projected to do over $250,000 in sales.
But they did make 3 really big mistakes that ended up costing them tens of thousands of dollars. And if you want to learn step by step from me how to sell on Amazon, I do have a complete Amazon FBA program. There's a link to that down below. And one of the biggest reasons why you should join this program is I will show you step by step how to start an Amazon business, as well as help you to avoid some of the most common mistakes that new sellers make on Amazon. And the first mistake that Elena and Elena made with their product was not having infographics earlier. And this mistake probably cost them at least $5,000 in missed sales.
Initially, we just used pictures on a plain white background. But we found out later on that using infographics helps increase the sales. And what I mean by that is nice picture with bullet points with a description of the product.
And you guys added infographics and your sales increased, right?
Absolutely, we saw a drastic change.
And if they would have done that earlier, they probably would have even had more sales. But the second mistake that Elena and Elena made cost them over $33,000. And this is a very common mistake I see people making. You guys hired a consultant.
Yes. Initially, not knowing anything about Amazon and not knowing Travis back in the day, we found a consultant who said that they would help us to set up the business. And the mistake was paying upfront for services not rendered, not just to the consultant, but to anybody. If you pay upfront, beware.
And they spent over $33,000 on this consultant. You don't need to spend $33,000 on a consultant. That's why I have my Amazon FBA program. You can do this all yourself if you have the tools, and you don't even need to pay for a program like mine. I have a free 8-hour step-by-step Amazon course I'm going to give you guys later in this video. And this leads us into the third mistake that you guys made, and this mistake cost over $25,000. What was that mistake?
Mistake number 3 was not putting enough money into advertising from the very beginning, because we found out the more you put, the more you get. But we were very cautious, very risk averse, and it cost us about $25,000 in missed sales.
You have to invest in yourself if you want to have success, but that doesn't have to cost you any money. I have a free 8-hour Amazon FBA course. There's a link to that down below. Click on that video. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.